Okay, let's call the meeting to order then so we can get going. Pledge of allegiance. I'll start there. I pledge allegiance to the flag
United States
of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice
for all.
for all.
Yeah, we should just do it here.
That was terrible.
We gotta work singing.
We kind of work on our pacing there, but we're doing okay.
Yeah.
Approval of minutes from the previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the agenda. Any bad?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries and the agenda is approved. Okay, down there? You're muted right now. Okay, now you're unmuted.
I am here.
Okay, what's up?
Just a couple things, still waiting on, hand sanitizer from the people all over goodbye from work. Also cleaning supplies. I know, I believe it was Rhonda said she was running one of those wipes. Unfortunately, those are kind of like going, so it's still waiting on those. I know Roger has a standing order for some, as well as myself. I believe, someone else in the building was looking for some as well, but I think what we're gonna have to do for the time being is utilize, that locally bought alcohol, put it in like a spray bottle, and use a rag. I think that's gonna be our only, great option, for the time being, I guess. Hopefully, they keep telling us that it's coming, but, every email I get, it seems like it's further and further away. Just to bring you guys' attention today, there was mass testing done out at Spirit Lake. They, had 100 predetermined people, a group, I guess, that was gonna be tested, when they brought out some more testing. I was kind of in contact out there, with a few entities throughout the day, and it sounded like it was going fairly smooth. Of course, the state comes in, they do a fantastic job. I just got off the call, with their chief of police, about 15 minutes ago, and they thought they were gonna go until about 6:30 or until the test ran out. This is really beneficial for us, so we get a great understanding of our, community around us and how they're doing, and, you know, whether they find cases or not is a good practice, so, another thing I'd like to touch on, we're, the rural fire department chief and I have been on the, back and forth on emails and phone calls. We're still in a moderate fire danger, it's nothing great. I know Adam, Sean wanted to reach out to you, I don't know if he had or not.
I haven't heard from him yet, no.
Okay. He just wants to see, and I think Carrie will have to get involved too, he wants to make some different wording. I know there's legal documentation out there for if someone burns during a burn ban, but he wanted to just word something, and I told him, I said, make sure it's all falls in the legal realm that we can work on drawing something up. putting a burn ban when that, when he sees that it's a great time. And the way it's looking, might be a dry year this year already, so go from flooding to COVID to dry, and it's kind of a swing. Which kind of brings into my next thing, which is something I'd like to, it was kind of brought to my attention on these conference calls. So now that we're dealing with COVID and pharmacies is kind of wrong. You know, we have to do our social distancing at the courthouse, or even for that matter at the school for the deaf. And I spoke to public health as well on this. We should probably have some sort of mask, whether, you know, it be a surgical mask or something, but I'm not sure. Is that because we open to the community as a fallout shelter, more or less, for a storm shelter, I should say? Is that something that, you know, like I should be purchasing, or should we be purchasing it out of another budget or fund, I should say? And then, of course, from masks it goes to hand sanitizer, which, you know, we'll have to use the local stuff for that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Where can you buy masks then?
What'd you say, Ed?
Where can you buy the masks?
Well, that's a big stumbling block. Because I'm not a medical provider, we have to go through on assets through public health, but, you know, their priority is medical, and, you know, I'm kind of on the back burner on that.
How many do you think you need?
That's a great question. The first storm, if we had
10, 20,
20
50?
people in, you know, one box is pretty much, well, I don't know, depending on what box size, but a couple hundred just be the safe side. I'd say 100 be on the safe side.
There's people in the community that are making masks.
One or two storms.
Chris? Chris? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There's people in the community that are making the masks, homemade ones. If a guy put out a feeler, I'm sure you would get a response.
Correct. I am aware that there is some people out there doing that. I know someone actually said they would sow some. My next question then is, do we have to make sure as bills at the courthouse to make sure you're sanitized, or?
Or use your own discretion, see what you think. Try 20 or something, see what you think.
Okay.
If there's no other avenue to buy them,
Yeah, I would say try to go through Han first and see if we can just get a few. I mean, I don't think we're gonna need a ton of them, but if you can try that avenue, and then if that doesn't work, then try to get some through somebody locally who's selling them, or we can use, since we have an emergency out there, we can use our emergency funds. So, and then it'll be something that's reimbursable. So.
Yeah, even if we have to restock them through Han, that wouldn't be such a bad deal when those come available later down the road anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I know there have been some places that have been able to get them through Han that are, you know, dependent upon what their situation is. But I mean, at the same time, you know, if I don't know what kind of supply they have, we don't want to be taking, surgical masks that we don't know what we're going to use from somebody that might actually need them because they know they're going to use them either. So it's kind of a, you know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other type of situation.
have you tried J&S vending? You might have an avenue. Yeah, Chris, try J&S Vending. They might have an avenue of being able to find them.
I will reach out to them as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, at least in my opinion, the message would be that, you know, yeah, it would be good to have some on hand, and whatever avenue you can find to get them, take care of it, and then we can take it out of the emergency funds, I suppose, or, whatever, you know, if we had to take it out of the general or whatever, it's not like it's gonna break us, we're not gonna buy a ton of them, so. But if we should have them on hand just to be safe, I agree.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else, Chris?
No, I think that's about it for now.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Chris?
Chris, have you checked with the LEC?
Yes, I have, there's an underlying problem, with maps, for our meeting this morning. I don't wanna get into too much details because it is we're looking into it right now. So the maps that are currently out there at our first responders, we just want them to keep with, we don't wanna monkey basically with their stock.
Or maybe they have a source. Just a thought.
Of course, it's on us as well.
Yeah, I think pretty much any political subdivision that needs them, you know, whether it's public health or social services or the LEC or whatever, is going through on assets, which is the state, correct?
That is correct.
So, I mean, like I said, I think that's probably the first avenue, but, you know, we don't need to stockpile them either, you know, if we need 50 or something like that to start with, so we're not taking masks away from, you know, first responders that are gonna need them, but it would be good to have a few on hand. So, whatever route you can find to make it happen, I would say just take care of it and then work with Candy to see where we can take the funds from, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else for Chris or any other comments? Okay, hearing none, thanks, Chris. Okay, we'll move on to Kevin.
All right. First of all, I need to order some cutting edges for summer maintenance this summer for our motor graders, and the cost of them is going to be $11,798.36.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to purchase cutting edges. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Vote same sign. Motion carries.
And then also I need to order a load of culverts for just the stock in our yard. And True North Steel was the only company that gave us a bid this year. And those culverts I need to stock will cost $36,596.26.
Move to approve. Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Brett. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, sounds like, I think it was that. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Vote same sign. Motion carries.
And then Cat did deliver our 3 new motor graders. We're using them right now. So we need to pay for those. Our total invoice for those 3 was $912,350 even. So we need a motion to pay that bill too, if everybody's in favor of it.
Okay. Do we have a motion to pay for the motor graders?
Move to approve.
Okay, we had 2 motions. I'll give it to Commissioner Brett. Who's got the second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Further discussion? I guess if we're using them, we have to pay for them, huh? discussion, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
And we got a few more, summer maintenance contracts in from the townships, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. So we need a motion to have the chairman and the auditor sign those summer maintenance contracts for those 7 townships.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to second to sign the summer maintenance contracts for the discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
And also a motion for the, load pass agreements with the townships. We got 3 of those in. So we need a motion for the chairman and the auditor to sign on 3.
Okay. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
And the last thing I have is the last few years, our mag water, we've been paying for 75% of the costs on our county roads, where people want to buy their homes, so just curious if we want to do that again this year. If so, we should probably have a motion for that. If you want to talk about it first, or that's what we've done in the last few years.
I'll make a motion to approve it. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve a 75-25 split for county roads on main water costs. Further discussion?
How much was the bill? Roughly?
Like 100% of the bills are on 7,000.
7.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
I asked him how much the bill was, Adam, and it's about 7,000.
Okay.
7,000.
Okay, 7,000 last year? Okay. Good question. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Got anything else, Kevin?
That's all I have.
You got any questions for Kevin? Hey, actually, Kevin, I have one question. Just thought of it. I got a call about, there's some culverts sitting up, and I don't know if they're in a field or where they're at, but they're in section 15 of Triumph Township. Are they ours, or what's the situation there, just so I can call the guy back and tell him what they're for?
Yeah, we're replacing that bridge there. We didn't get it done last year.
Oh, go ahead.
Last year it was on our list to get done, and we didn't get it done because we didn't get the culverts ordered soon enough. So we're gonna do it this year.
Okay, how many are there?
There's 4 of them laying sitting there.
Are they in the way?
Okay,
They're not in the,
big ones?
they're down in the ditch, yeah, they're 7-foot arches, so yeah, they're big.
Okay.
But they're down in the ditch, so they're not in the farm field or nothing.
Okay, just as long as they're not in somebody's way. So I'll give the guy a call and see what his question was. I think he was probably just curious what they were there for, so. Okay, very good. Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
Okay. Unfinished business, North Central Housing Authority Board appointments. We had in the packets, Stephanie Armstrong is willing to serve, so somebody would approve that, I guess.
Motion to approve.
Okay, I think we have Commissioner Wakefield made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
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 Both same sign. Motion carries. Forward Devil's Lake Board appointment, Candy, you still haven't heard anything from Brett on that?
No, we got
we
new
have
blood, new blood.
Oh, who's that?
Kevin,
If that meets all the guidelines, I guess I'd be interested.
Kevin might be interested, did he say?
He is interested.
Oh, he is interested.
Yeah, I'll make that a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for Kevin to sit on the advisory council for Devil's Lake. Further discussion? If none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Alright,
Aye. Both same sign.
thank you very much, both of you.
Motion carried. Candy, you better get shoot Brad an email so he's not beating the bushes anymore.
Yep, I will do that.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that.
Yes.
New business. Approved payment to senior citizen clubs.
Move to approve.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second from Commissioner Britt. Further discussion.
One question on that Towner County Public Health, what does that do? Does that take care of down here, the senior meals, or?
Yep.
Can't
Yep.
Towner County?
They do both.
Oh, they do both? Is that the foot clinic?
Yep.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah, they took over the foot clinic from, what, Cavalier County or something a few years ago?
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So they were helping us.
Ramsey?
Do we need a roll call, or since we're paying it right now, or?
Yes.
Okay, let's roll call it then, please.
Olson,
Aye.
Frith,
Aye.
Wakefield,
Aye.
Brown,
Alright,
Lightfon.
one thing to add, senior meals here in town did ask me about it here about a week ago, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad to report to them now that it's coming, it's in the mail, so.
There you go.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Approved City of Devil's Lake billing for West End Dike. We have a motion from Commissioner Smith. Do we have a second?
I'll second it, but,
Okay.
I got one question. I thought this was going away a while back here, but not happening, huh?
I thought so as well. They had it in some type of a federal water bill where it was supposed to start getting paid for, but I don't know if it never passed or what the situation was. I'll do some digging.
Okay, thank you. You, good idea.
I talked to Mayor Johnson today about that, and he thinks that it's somewhere locked in the federal regulation somewhere, but his water rate was supposed to be something that was taken care of in some water legislation a few years back, and whether or not it ever did, certainly we haven't seen it, and the city hasn't either, so.
Well, it was in a bill that originated on the Senate side, because it was back when Senator Heitkamp was there. She's the one that got it put in, I thought. So maybe we should ask the question of Senator Hogan or Senator Kramer and see where it's at. And if it was ever put in or what exactly occurred, so we can maybe save some money.
Yes, I think you're on the right track.
I'll shoot off an email or to Senator Hogan or somebody, to one of his staff, see who his water LA is, and then we'll see if we can get some answers.
Which is it?
Okay, I'll look there real quick.
16 every quarter. Could end up
Okay.
taking more than a whole meal.
Yeah, it's not cheap when it's all said and done, that's for sure. Discussion on COVID-19. We put this on there again because the original parameters, guidelines, recommendations, whatever you want to call them, were approved through this meeting. So we just have to make a determination if we want to continue as we're doing things, or if we want to make any changes operationally, or and for how long, if we're going to extend them, how long we're going to extend them for.
Well, I think we should use the lead of the governor, and he's got it extended till the end of this month, at 1st of May. Then they're gonna revisit it. I guess I wouldn't be afraid of extending it to until our next meeting, which would be the 7th of May. No, what is it?
Yeah, I would.
Fifth of May,
That's
5th of May.
kind of what I was thinking too, because the state's gonna start giving us some more guidance here after the 1st of May, if we need to stay locked down or, you know, where we're gonna be at. So if we go through the first meeting of May at least, then we have, have some certainty for at least another few weeks, and then we can kind of go meeting by meeting until this thing, we get some guidance on how the state's gonna start to do things.
That's what my thought was also.
Everybody else okay with that, or?
Yeah, would you like that in a motion?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Go ahead and make that to submit it to our next meeting, first meeting in May.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to keep the, operational and employee-related COVID-19, guidelines in place through the first meeting of May. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
I,
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Okay, raffle permit.
move to approve.
Second.
You have a motion and a second to approve the raffle permit. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Approval of donation policy. I give you a little bit of background on this. And Rhonda's on the call as well, so maybe she can give a little bit of background too, but I can you unmute Rhonda, or did she mute herself? Oh, she's unmuted.
Hi, this is Rhonda. We routinely accept gifts from the public and our people want to help people especially at Christmas, and have been remiss in not ever really having a policy. It was just kind of an unsaid thing, and I think it was in law actually that social service agencies, it is in law that social service agencies, when they were part of the county, could accept gifts. So there really wasn't a huge problem with it up until it was a problem. So we were in the unfortunate position on Friday afternoon of not being able to accept a significant donation for someone who really wanted to help out a person who had lost housing during this pandemic with 3 little kids. And so I had an email from Terry reminding us that this was a problem, I believe, in January, and I had not acted on it. So I just together a little bit of a policy about how we're going to keep track of it for auditors' purposes. And I don't know if there are any other questions, but that would be what I know about it.
Yeah, so essentially the host county, being we're the host county of the zone, would have to accept the gift as the county and then allow the human service zone to utilize the gift essentially.
Yes, we would probably ask for a line item. I know we have done this in the past when we were a district. We had a line item we ran the school money through our county for the nurturing program. They didn't have the mechanism to take that grant, and we did. We also ran the foster care recruitment money through our county. So we have various line items. We probably use, I don't know how the counting would be, but we could probably use one of those line items for this as well.
Okay, everybody has the guidelines in front of them. It's pretty straightforward. It's not too complicated. From a functional standpoint, Candy, do we have just a line item we can put them under, and these guidelines make sense for the county then?
I would just suggest setting up their own line item with it, and then we should be good to go.
Okay, so they can just use, the human service zone can use their own line item. We're just basically acting as a pass-through essentially then.
Yeah.
We have to say we accepted it, and then we just basically handed it off right away then.
Yeah, or I could set up it's a totally separate line item for that.
Okay. Well, between you and human services, we can figure out exactly functionally how that'll work, but more than anything, just so we have the policy in place that says we're gonna do that.
it can be accepted by county, it can be administered how she had written up in that policy.
Perfect, thank you, Terry.
Yeah.
I'll move to approve this policy.
Okay,
I second that, Adam.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the donation policy. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Approval of billing submitted by NDSU. Okay. We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second, and that was just wages, I believe, correct?
Yes.
That's wages for Bill and Sarah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, further discussion? Hearing none, suppose we want to get the check in the mail, so we'll roll call it.
Brown,
Aye.
Wakefield,
Aye.
Frith,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay. Discussion on commercial property, valuation increases. Phil, I put this on, I think, did you put this on, Ed? Because I heard that you
Yes.
had some visitations with the people.
Yes, I had some contacts with people that called me. Some of them are quite upset. I told them we would address it tonight. We don't finalize it till the June meeting, is that correct?
That's my understanding, yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, when we do a board equalization at that point.
I just wanted everybody to be put on notice or notified or whatever you want to use terminology there, but, and I talked to Beth this morning. She's had concerns. Mark has told me he's had people contact him, so we're probably gonna have to spend some time on this in June to come to an agreement, and when we can probably get Beth in the room with us and explain it probably better on what we can do. Vanguard was the one that did all this, I think we're all aware of that, so. But I wanted to put on the agenda so we could visit about it.
I had talked to Beth as well, and she said, that she apologized for not being able to make the meeting tonight because of other township meetings. She's going through all the township meetings and evaluation or the meetings that they have to go through. And she said she hasn't had anything that she hasn't been able to explain out of. People sometimes see the sticker shock. But she said, after the explanation that has probably been under-assessed, people are okay with it, and as long as it's fair and across the board. And she said people have been understanding of it.
Well, not all the people,
No.
not all the people, don't summarize it that way, so.
Well, I'm sure there's obviously going to be people that aren't going to be pleased with it. I did speak with Beth too. She's been going through with the townships. The one thing that she reiterated to me was if one of the commercial owners that got one of these statements has an issue with it, they're working with Vanguard, and then any say they feel they're overvalued, then they can, at this step of the equalization process, essentially tell Vanguard, well, this is why should be valued as high as you have it, this and that. So the original valuations that went out, she said I don't know how many of them, I can't state, but she
giving them dates that, they were at their residence, and some of these people weren't even home. So then they asked for another date, and it's like, well, they didn't tell me that. I have about a half a dozen people that.
They're not assessing their homes, it's all commercial values.
No, but I mean, they did not get in these businesses. These businesses were closed, there was nobody there.
Okay, I guess I haven't heard that, so.
We'll just have to work on it, see what we can do. Come to an agreement somehow and try to stay in state compliance. That's gonna be the key, I suppose, so.
Well, I think, you know, I knew, I shouldn't say, well, yeah, I had seen the values when they were coming in late last year, just the preliminary stuff. And then previous to the statements going on, I had visited with Beth about it. But it was a deal where, you know, the state has their sales ratio studies and everything too, so we have to stay in compliance with them. And there's been some sales out there where our values are, that we've been assessing at are out of whack compared to the sales. So we're gonna have to work to find that happy medium between getting our values where they should be, while at the same time, you know, like you said, staying where the state is happy with us. And obviously, everything is kind of thrown into flux a little bit with all of the things that are happening in the world right now. So it's just something we're gonna have to keep working on going forward and try to find a happy medium. And I'm sure we're never gonna make everybody happy, but as long as the values are what can be deemed fair and equitable across the board, I think that's what we have to shoot for.
I guess one thing I'll say is I wanted to put it on the agenda so that people know that we're looking at it, we're talking about it, considering what to do, how to adjust things. And some of these figures that we're going up on valuations are quite large. So, but like I said, I want the people to know that we're looking at this very strongly, and we don't show up at the June meeting and approve it without putting a lot of thought into this, so.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Ed. Yeah, it's something that we're all aware of. It's just a matter of how are we going to work through it to find some ground that everybody can kind of go with.
And I think one other thing to add is we're all happy with, you know, the construction that went on in the county and the increase in values and the, you know, and the business that it's bringing to the community. I think it's very rewarding and it could be very beneficial in the long run. I know it's a tough time right now for everybody, and I think we better have a compassionate ear to try to find our way through this. That's all I have. Go ahead, Adam. Go ahead, Adam.
I was going to say, I think the best, at least in just my opinion, I think once we get through these township equalizations and everybody that has an issue with their valuation on these new valuations from the commercial properties, once they go through the townships and, you know, hopefully, if they have that problem, then they can get in touch with us, with Beth in her office, and they can work out, you know, why is it high and try to get things more equalized where they should be. Then we'll have a pretty good look at what we have in terms of changes, and then we can kind of start deciding, or at least looking at what our options are going to be. And we have some time to figure that out. So it's good to, like you said, good to start the discussion now in March before that June meeting comes, you know, have a little bit of a look ahead. So, or excuse me, April. I think it's March still. But
It's like March.
that seems like March. but, it's good to start that discussion now.
That's all I have.
Okay, anybody else on this topic?
No, I agree, thanks for bringing it up, bringing it to our attention, letting people know that we're looking at it and discussing it.
Okay, anything else on this topic on evaluations? Okay, hearing nothing. Visitors and delegations, is there anybody sitting in the meeting room in there?
Nope.
No, we got nobody else online other than, people that, work for the county or elected officials, so we'll move on. Portfolios, announcements, whatever you wanna call it, since it's our second meeting, does anybody have anything they'd like to add? Any changes, anything going on out there?
On the portfolio, just law enforcement, we had our meeting last week. The state did not show up. They're not sure when they're coming, but they're gonna come during the month when we have our meetings. So they're gonna come Monday, Tuesday, and then be there for the Wednesday morning meeting to tell us how things are going. So, I think it will be in June, I think, so. And Mark said today that they got 5 more federals,
5 federals, yep.
so.
And the count is still staying in the 50s, which is substantially higher than we thought it would be.
Last
Yeah,
week,
I was,
go ahead,
I
Adam.
was just saying, the count has been holding up pretty well. I was in on the, emergency responders meeting this morning, and Rob is in on that as well as Star, and kind of heard their updates, and, you know, they've done a lot of things to try to, you know, a lot of policies, procedures, implementations to make sure that when people come into jail, they're gonna make sure that they don't bring in the possibility of this COVID-19. So hats off to them for putting all those procedures in place. All the new prisoners that come in now that they have to hold, they're putting in quarantine, and sounds like they got a pretty good handle on it. So sounds like it's working out okay.
Yes, I thought things were looked very good last week at our regular meeting, so.
A question for Ed and Mark. Did I hear right that Department of Corrections are no longer accepting transfers down into the state pen?
No.
Holding them locally?
No, that's not true. They are taking transfers. I talked to Whirlinger a week ago yesterday, he called me. And he said he told me that if the county has a prisoner in jail here locally, and if that prisoner is has a big operation coming, medical operation, that the state would take that prisoner on and take care of the operational costs for that prisoner. We don't have anybody at law enforcement right now that would qualify for that, so, but they are taking prisoners, yes. But
okay, good.
it's gonna be quite selective on who they take, I guess. Somebody's gotta have a large medical bill that they're not gonna dump on the county, so they're gonna transfer them down there. Now, I don't know how many they're doing within the state, I didn't ask Whirlinger that question. That's what he told me. And he said they are taking prisoners, so.
Another couple questions in relation to the law enforcement center. Did this, at the meeting, have they made any progress on the updated joint powers agreement?
Not a lot. They've met twice, I think. Like I said earlier, I think they have McKenzie County's copy of that one, and I think they're gonna try to follow that one somewhat. We spent 3.5 hours at the meeting last Wednesday morning, over 2 hours on the budget for 911, and just over an hour on the law enforcement center budget. And there was a hell of a lot of wish lists on there, I know that, so. But we're gonna have to do some trimming to that budget, I can see that, so. But 911, the 3 outlying counties, Nelson, Eddy, and Benson, they're all in on the siren project. And we let the law enforcement center, Mark and me told him that Ramsey was also in, so. We spent quite a bit of time trying to divvy up the cost amongst the entities on how to pay for it. And I think we all came to a conclusion that we're gonna set it up something like the camera and the intercom system, pay for it partially over 3 or 4 or 5 years. That hasn't been agreed upon yet, but the city was trying to, I don't know what word I was looking for, but tried to sidestep a lot of responsibilities on that siren project that day. Am I right, Mark?
You are correct.
So, you three should be forewarned of that, so.
What's the price tag on that again? Is it like $350,000, something like that?
450?
450.
450.
Minimum.
Minimum. Oh, the second question I had was that, I remember we talked about when I think we talked about it at the joint meeting, you guys looking at doing like the lights and stuff like that, is that gonna go in next year's budget, or is that gonna come down to, depending on if we get told by the Department of Corrections we have to do something with it?
Kind of both, I believe. I think they're gonna shut the light thing down this time. I think they're gonna tell us we have to, but I think if they don't tell us we have to, it'll probably go on the wish list. We got a pretty extensive wish list, so.
Yeah. That was just my curiosity and thinking about it after, that meeting and being able to go through the facility, it was interesting, let's put it that way.
It definitely needs it.
Yeah, to see where they're talking about that, and yeah, there's some definite spots where you can see why they're saying we should do some lighting upgrades. Yeah, but overall, I would say that, at least in my opinion, after going through that, I thought the facility, was in okay shape considering. I mean, it wasn't. There's things to fix, but that's a 50-year-old building, so that's to be expected. It's just upkeep and maintenance type of stuff.
One thing to add though is Nelson, Benson, and Eddie were all very supportive of doing the siren project. Very supportive, I thought. And we're coming up with ideas on how to get it paid for, and we're definitely stepping up to the plate, I felt. Mark?
We've spent a lot of money in that building. You can't sidestep some of the necessities, and siren's a necessity, and if we hem and haw around, we're gonna get left in the dust. We'll put it on the agenda for next one. We can't do that anymore.
We can't.
We kinda had to step up and say, hey, we're going forward. And like Ed said, the other counties were right there. The only one wishy-washy sidestepping was the city.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know if everybody's aware, Terry Trainer's been sending out emails during this whole thing. This last stimulus, coronavirus bill, whatever you'd like to call it, they initially had some state and local government dollars in there to help offset revenue lost at the local level. That got pulled out before the bill got finalized. They're hoping, because the president did, I believe, tweet something out about how he would be in support of something like that, that if they do something else, they might be able to get a standalone package or something. So there might be some federal funding dollars that might come, so maybe that would be an avenue we could tap and then pass part of it along as some, maybe some property tax relief or something. It's going to be tough out there for a little bit, but hopefully we can find a way to maybe make it work. So it'll be interesting to see what all comes down.
That second payroll bill went through this afternoon, Adam. Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw it went through, but initially it had, I can't remember what the dollar figure was, but it had something like $150 billion that was supposed to go to cities, counties, and additional dollars for states. And it wasn't just for, like right now we've got that money out there that's specifically our COVID-19 response for local entities, this thought process was going to be additional dollars out there. Because, I mean, if you think about, obviously, all of our cities, in the state that rely on sales tax are, you know, their sales tax collections are just getting hammered and decimated right now. You know, so there's gonna need to be some replacement of dollars, whether it's, you know, cutting, or if there's some type of way to, you know, for the federal government to step in and help. That was in the bill for a little bit. I believe it was proposed, but it never got into the final bill. So it'll be interesting to see if they go around and if they put another one together and put some of that type of funding in there or not. But that might be an avenue. The preliminary, I can't remember the preliminary dollars, but they had a breakdown for counties in North Dakota, and it wasn't an okay amount of money that would have helped us. But we'll have to just kind of see what happens as it comes.
Right.
Anything else on portfolios or announcements, I guess?
The sheriff's department has hired 2 new deputies that should start within the next 2 weeks to month, I believe. Is that correct?
Next one.
Next month, May.
I haven't, a question for you, Mark. I haven't talked with the sheriff recently. Are they okay on gear and stuff like that for any kind of response they've had to run into? Or that hasn't been a concern, or how's that going?
That hasn't been a concern, no, he's fine.
Okay, good. I know it seems as though in the first responder meeting that I was in, we're pretty good locally in terms of equipment and response to everything, so it's been good, I guess, from the standpoint of being of preparedness. So it's been good to see that everybody's so far so good.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else from anyone? Okay. Hearing nothing, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.